If you are interested in creating a culture inside your organization, just like elite level people businesses do that allow them to dominate whatever space they're in, whatever industry they're in, today is a great episode for you. We're going to take one ingredient and we're going to talk about how you need to view this ingredient differently if you want the recipe of famous culture through extraordinary leadership to be you, to be your organization, to walk into a place that allows you to thrive no matter what external conditions are happening, down economy, things like that, the uncontrollables. Having a great culture is always the best marketing investment you will ever make. And today we're going to be talking about that ingredient and how you need to shift how you look at paying your people. And if you're ready, let's go.
Welcome to the Brian Wright Show audio experience, a podcast dedicated to transforming lives, careers, and businesses. And now your host. He's a husband, father of two, an international business and life coach, the founder and CEO of New Patient Group and WrightChat, and a consultant and global speaker for some of the finest companies in the world, such as Invisalign and many others. Now, here's your host, Brian Wright.
Recently started working with an orthodontic practice, and if you're new to this podcast, everything we talk about on here all relates back to transformational life, career, and business. So no matter what person you are out there, whether you work for somebody, whether you work for an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur, everything we talk about on here could help anybody out there, especially entrepreneurs that want to be an elite level people business and follow that recipe. Sometimes you have to use your imagination because our niche 13 years ago, as I do this podcast today, we fell into the orthodontic space and other spaces where doctors own their own business. So recently we brought aboard this orthodontic practice, and I'm having a coaching session with the doctor, and he bought a new practice. So he's creating new job descriptions, and that's something we do in all industries. But in our niche, we're outsiders. We've been in orthodontics 13 plus years now, but I look at basically everything internally that's going on and look at it and go, why? Like, it makes no sense. Like the treatment coordinator position, the title and the description make no sense. Receptionist, title, description make no sense. Clinical assistants, title, description make no sense if your goal is to be an elite level people business, which all of you are. So one of the things we do is go in and we change job titles, we change job descriptions, flip it all on its head, and it's all for the better. It runs more efficient, more smooth, allows you to grow, all the stuff you all want. The employees tend to be a lot happier too once that job description is in place, because it puts things in place that allows them to control the controllables at a much higher level. Well, I'm having this coaching conversation, and one of the things that this doctor was about to do was put out an ad for a clinical assistant. He needed a new one. And he had hired another consultant that is well known in the industry for working with newer practices. And when I saw what he showed me, this just shows you the lack of understanding that so many people have about leadership and the importance of leadership as a trained skill set and the importance of building the right culture. The culture that if you go into a Michelin star restaurant, five-star hotel, that kind of thing that allows them to thrive more than anything else, it's the leadership and culture inside those organizations. So hard to convince all of you out there that's always your best marketing investment is to build your leadership team to create a better culture. Well, he's showing me something that this consultant gave him as a pay scale that would go out as part of the job ad to somebody that would come aboard as a clinical assistant. And it went something like this. So you look at the tier levels, and it went, tier one, this is somebody that has little to no experience, right? They're going to come aboard and you're going to need to train them and get them up to speed with a lot of the Invisalign stuff, a lot of the braces stuff, that kind of thing. Then it had a tier two, and the tier two was, just had more experience with that. You're going to have to train them less. And then tier three was somebody that was very seasoned, has the hand skills, understands their way around the clinic, probably doesn't need much training, right? Little, if any. And each one of those tiers came with a different pay scale. So like if it was tier one, they didn't get paid that much. Tier two, they got paid more. Tier three, they got paid a lot more, that kind of thing. And I started having a conversation with him about why that is the exact proof of why people do not look at things like a people business. They look at things like whatever industry they're in, like an orthodontic practice in this example. And I started giving them some coaching lessons around this, meaning that I said, okay, so why would somebody with little to no experience clinically, why would that get them paid less than somebody that has been in the industry 20 years and knows all the stuff clinically? And he said, well, they're more experienced. I said, okay, that's fair. Right? Nobody's arguing that. Right? Can somebody that has, in this case, better hand skills and more knowledge in the clinic, does that justify them making a higher pay? On one hand, yeah, right, it makes sense. But here's where my mind goes whenever I see this, because I know this consultant's mind never even thinks about it. This doctor never even thought about it. And the vast majority of you out there with your pay scales, as I say that today we're talking to the niche, but again, as always, just use your imagination in any form or fashion, and you'll be able to apply this to your waiters, whatever other employees you have, whatever type of business you have, restaurant, whatever. I said, okay, let's imagine Judy, make believe name, is a tier 3. She's got tons of experience. She comes into your practice and is a know it all, doesn't help others get better, pushes back on every idea that you want to implement. She's not coachable. She's not willing to change. She's not willing to show up early and stay late. She's not willing to come up with new and innovative ways to make the clinic run more efficient. I could go on and on and on and on. Like, what if, okay, so now you have a person that has tremendous hand skills and tremendous experience from a performance standpoint, but she has no trust. Or what if you go out and hire a tier 1 that's air quotes baby, right? No experience. Like, she's going to have to be raised up in the clinic in order to walk and all that stuff. Talk. You're going to have to train her a lot. What if that person comes with a great attitude? She smiles all the time. She shows up early to work and is willing to stay late, never asking anything for it. She'll do whatever it takes to grow your business, whatever it takes to make the clinic run more efficient, whatever it takes to help out with the patient's journey and make sure they're compliant. Is coachable, always wants to implement your ideas. She's happy at your weekly meetings. She helps her teammates. Before she checks out every day, she asks everybody if anybody needs help before she leaves. But you get the point. Now, which one deserves more money? And this is what I need all of you out there to be thinking all the time, is this is another example of a high performer with low trust getting paid more than the low performer and the high trust. Right now, I get those terminologies from our Navy SEALs Team 6 trainings that we, in our courses that we have. I can pop one of those in the link below if you want to view it. Right? It's our trust versus performance teachings. And so many of you out there have this backwards. And you wonder, why can't I keep people? Why is my culture not the way? Well, it's because you're paying high dollar to Judy, who, can help out right away clinically, but absolutely sucks in the locker room. She's bringing everybody's performance down. Nobody likes her. She's a pain in the butt. Your business suffers because of it. You're never going to achieve elite people business status like we teach on here. Right? But this is the person that the consultant taught you to pay more than the girl you hire as a tier 1 that doesn't have the clinical expertise, but is willing to do everything else to make sure your business thrives. Of course, that person, the tier 1 person, deserves to be paid more, because you can train her and don't have the mentality, everybody. And this is sad, and you got to stop this. This whole mentality of, I don't want to train, so I'm going to go out and look for a seasoned, experienced assistant or receptionist or treatment coordinator, whatever it is. Waiter for my restaurant, concierge for my hotel. As I say, it applies to everything. You have it all backwards. Part of being a great leader is training, is wanting to develop your people into something great personally and professionally. That's part of great leadership. That's part of transformational leadership, topic for another time. So it's part of your duty, your responsibility, your calling as a leader to advance their career by giving them, and their personal life, not just their career, by giving them and training them on having the right mindset, coaching them. And if they are coachable, that's priceless, everybody. This whole, Judy comes with experience and Timmy doesn't. So Judy's going to get paid more. Guys, it's crap. Now, if Judy is experienced clinically and she also comes with all those attributes that I said the tier one person comes with, then of course she's going to get paid more. But this is the backwards thinking. So many, unfortunately, so many consultants that are paid out there, which sometimes blows me away. But this is the backwards thinking that they're teaching because they don't know a thing about leadership. What they know is what existed in the practice whenever they worked there. That's as far as it goes. Doesn't go any farther than that. This is a perfect example of this doctor almost putting out an ad that said just because you don't have clinical experience means you're going to be paid less than somebody that does. Meanwhile, ignoring all the other attributes, many which are not trainable, right? A lot of it comes with the person, but then also it is trainable from a sense of if you're training your leadership team, right, to have the right culture, when this person enters your organization, that person's just going to blossom even further. If you don't have it, then guess what? That person with all those beautiful attributes is going to be coming into your office. The rest of the low trust people are going to suck them into their group, and they're going to, those attributes that were positives then go to crap. And now you're wondering why you can't find the right people. Well, you can't find the right people because when you do, your existing culture poisons them. And that happens with low trust people. And this low trust, I've been talking about, I have all kinds of podcasts coming about this obsession that I start to have about what goes on in people's personal life absolutely affects their perception and their perspective inside the business and inside development of their career. And it's unfortunate, but I think it goes back to transformational leadership. Again, a topic for a different time is that if you aren't engaged with changing their mindset personally, you're never going to change it professionally. The two are intertwined. They do not exist separately. Your pay scale, everybody, has to take into account way more than just the on paper. Do they have experience? Have they been chairside before? How long have they waited tables? How long have they been a concierge? How long have they been a treatment coordinator? How long have they answered phones? This is not the way to hire. This is not the way to pay. People deserve to be paid more than your highest trained clinical assistant, your most experienced clinical assistant, your most experienced waiter, your most experienced treatment coordinator. Other people deserve to be paid more than them if they come with all the attributes that help make a great business. One that takes customers seriously and puts them at the forefront of everything, and making sure the customer experience is always an infinite pursuit, that you're always trying to tweak, try to make better, whether that be through repetitive training or training on new ideas. You can't have enough of those people. If you want to walk in and out of your business every day and go, oh, have fun, be efficient, grow, all the stuff that all business owners in any industry want, you have to rethink what you're paying your people. Because if you're paying Jody a ton of money because she's been around 20 years, and then you pay Susie nothing because she's new, but Judy sucks and pisses everybody off, right? On the non-baseball stuff, the non-clinical stuff, right? It's a great basketball player on the court, but pisses everybody else off in the locker room. That player should not be paid more. Like that's a player. Unfortunately, there's a lot of superstar athletes like that. One reason they don't become good coaches, right, is typically, not typically, but there's a lot of them that drive down morale in the locker room. What really makes a superstar athlete is the high trust, high performer, the one that kicks butt on the court and also makes everybody around them better. That's what makes them worth a ton of money, not just the performance. You've got to think about all of this stuff, guys. If you want a great culture, you can't have low trust people in your organization, ones that don't want to grow, believe talent is stagnant. They don't want to train. They think they know everything. We work with, there's a treatment coordinator in a practice that's now been with us now quite a while. And guys, she's a know-it-all. She's a pain in the butt. She completely puts the roadblocks on everything that we could do. We could train her to be so great, it's ridiculous, because performance-wise, she's already really good. But she still has a ton of holes, but she refuses to see them. She's a know-it-all. right? Blah, 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 all the stuff. That person does not deserve to be paid more than the person that's brand new that walked in yesterday that's willing to do whatever it takes to grow your business. And if you look at this, the way I'm teaching you one day, and it's not going to happen overnight. Matter of fact, a lot of times it's a lot of pain getting to the right team. Everybody's on their own timeline journey with that, where, sometimes we walk into a business, you already have the right team, but that's rare. Most of the time we walk into a business, 8 people out of the 10 have to go. It doesn't mean that we fire them, but they naturally just say, I quit. I don't want any part of this. I don't want to get better. The business is not important to me. I just want a paycheck and leave every day. Right. And if you're a transformational leader like myself, if you lead that way, those people are not going to like me or our program, because mediocre people do not like high achievers, and high achievers do not like mediocre people, period. No matter how nice one tries to be the other, they don't like each other, everybody. And your goal should be to strive to get high achievers in your business, no matter how hard it is. The lower the pay scale, the harder it is to find those people, because if they were those people, they wouldn't be applying for the job you need anyway, right? Unfortunately, that's kind of how it works. Doesn't mean they don't exist, but this is also why once they become a board, you've got to develop their mindset. You've got to motivate them, inspire them, be that figure that they may never had before in their life with their parents or the people they hang out with, whatever it is. You've got to rethink, one, the job descriptions and what's in them, but that's a podcast certainly for another time, because just that can help change your culture and grow your business. But certainly your pay scale, everybody. Pay the people that are high trust, growth mindset, will do anything it takes to get better, learn, they're coachable, they show up every day, they don't make excuses, they take ownership for their actions, responsibility for their actions, all the stuff. You can't have enough of those people, because you can coach them to be great at anything, or at least good, right? Maybe not great. It's like the athlete that's coachable. Some of them can be great based on talent and smarts. Others can just be the average player, but that average player can still make other people better. They don't have to be great players. That's why in sports, you don't have a team of superstars, right? You got a couple superstars followed by the next level and the next level and the next level. Just because in this case, somebody has more clinical experience, hand skills, whatever the hell, does not mean they deserve to be paid more than the person that comes in without hand skills, but has all the other high trust attributes. Those are the people you should be searching for. Those are the people you need to lock up. Those are the people you need to pay high dollar. Just because they have experience, who gives a damn, guys? If they're coachable, especially like with our program, we can take them to any level that they want to go. And a lot of times people with experience, right? Those are the most closed mind. That's why, and I can't wait. I've got a couple podcasts coming on outsider of your industry perspectives, and why searching for coaches and companies that are not in your space can help you out so much, because their perspective, the way they look at everything is so different. It's so unique. So it makes you unique. And this is one of these things. This is one of these things that in industry people, would say, well, this treatment coordinator's been a treatment coordinator for 20 years. She comes with experience. She deserves more than Judy that comes with 5 years experience and hasn't treatment coordinated as much. Right? But again, it goes back to, that's on paper. They have more experience. Doesn't mean they're better. And it certainly doesn't mean all those other things. Now, again, the ideal hire is the person with the most experience and those attributes. Can't beat that. Unfortunately, there's not in any industry, sports to business, not that many of those people. So you've got to be looking for high trust people first. High trust people first. Growth mindset, all the attributes I'm talking, those are the people you hire. Those are the people that you go after. And those are the people that you pay high dollar. And if you lock those people up and pay them more than what they're going to make anywhere else they go, they will be so devoted to you, you will not believe. That's how you hire. That's how you create a great, obviously there's other reasons, but that or other ways, but this is one of the ways you create a great culture. And this is a leadership mindset ingredient, if you will, today that you need to shift immediately. And I think all of you can agree. And I think this probably is different than most all of you have ever heard. I'm going to link up our Navy SEALs course below, because it's real. Right? If you have low trust people in any way in your organization, those people have to go. No matter what their stats show on paper, they have to go. Your team needs to be filled with high trust people. Even if their stats in the beginning or right now don't look great, even if people are going, and this happens too, right? Your experience, and this kind of proves the point. All of you can relate to this, no matter what business you're in. But I'm going to be talking to the niche here, like I normally do. Is that if you have high experience Judy that comes with all these skill sets, she knows all the clear liners, all the types of braces. You don't have to train her. Right? She comes trained, minimal amounts of training. A lot of times that's the person that comes to you complaining that Susie isn't getting up to speed. She's just not getting it quick enough, right? She's untrainable. I can't do it. It's taking her forever. She's too slow. Boom. Sign of low trust right there. Right? Because what it really is that you don't know how to coach. You don't know how to inspire. You don't know how to train. You have no patience, right? You're not putting your arm around her and saying, hey, you're struggling here. I'm going to spend some extra time with you after work. You want to stay with me? Right? That's what you want. Like you want that person, but the high experience, high paid person rarely comes with that in our niche. And in a lot of industries, I've seen it helping restaurants. I've seen it helping hotels. The one that's been in it forever, right? Yeah, I have all this experience. I'm so good. Yeah. You're pissing everybody else off, driving down their behavior. They want nothing to do with you, right? You're the naysayer in all the meetings. You poo-poo all the ideas. You're quick to put somebody down, quick to label them. Because that's not leadership. And those people should not be paid more than the people that will do whatever it takes for you to succeed. And those are few and far between, but they are out there, and they also can be developed into that mindset by training your leaders. I hope that made sense to everybody. I know it is certainly different than how many of you out there do it, but this is a lesson in leadership and another way to create a culture like the elite level people businesses and how they dominate in their respective industries. Hope everybody liked it. As always, give this a thumbs up, make some comments there on YouTube. Hey there, if you're watching, appreciate it. Share with friends, family, anybody that wants to transform life, career, and or business. If you're listening in this case on the audio experience channels, make sure to give us a 5-star review. Spread the word as we keep growing our massive underground cult following, we call it here. If you don't know why I call it that, I'm not going to explain it today. I'll explain it on another podcast. But our massive underground cult following is growing and growing and growing. And thanks to everybody out there. And we'll talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.